Hey guys, it's Greg and Mark. If you remember, we did a video several months ago about an odd return and some stuff, how returns go sideways. Tonight is another rendition of that. It's kind of a different animal. I brought Mark along because really I don't like to be lonely in these videos, and also he was a part of that last one. He's got pretty good common sense compared to most people I run around with. So anyway, we had a guy buy one of our clutch lifter plates for a 4-speed Grommer monkey. And every case is different. It has different situations. You know, some things are complex, some aren't. These are a pretty simple piece. Mainly though, we've sold roughly 1,000 of these, and our tolerance is -0 plus 3,000. So they are what they are. And when you sell 1,000 of something and they all go well and you've installed too many to count, you got a pretty good feel for how this works. But unfortunately, the difficulty of running an internet business is you never know who's on the other end of this thing. So
correct.
Right. So you try to politely determine what you're dealing with as far as mechanical ability, because some people are great mechanics and some people can't do anything, and you have to kind of feel that out without insulting a person. You can't ask, hey, you mechanically inept. They're not going to say yeah. So anyway, the guy orders our lifter plate and our springs, and this is about a 30 email process that developed over the last 10 days. But he said his clutch was making a bunch of noise after he put this in.
Clanky sound.
Yeah, very, very clanky. So you start kind of feeling out, how can you help the customer out? What could possibly be wrong? Mm-hmm. And to his credit, he was fairly civil through the whole thing, even after he started to go off the rails. I mean, we've seen a lot worse. I mean, we've seen some people just lose
their mind. Yeah,
just come unglued.
Yeah.
And this guy didn't come unglued, but he said it's making a noise, and I either need a replacement or a refund. And so I said, there's a lot of things in a clutch that would make a noise, and quite honestly, that plate is really not one of them.
Right. It doesn't really have a lot of ability to make noise.
No. And I said, I can't refund you I said, I can't send a replacement because it will be identical to whatever you have. So that wouldn't change anything. That would just waste a part in the shipping and his time to get that thing there because he's already got it.
Right.
So I said, I will gladly refund you. The problem is that the product is used at this point. So I left it in his court, and I said, if you want to send it back to us, we will measure it all out. And if it is in any way out of spec, we'll refund you all your shipping both ways, all that. But otherwise, we really can't. So he chose to send it back. And we checked it. And
we're going to let you know the secret when we checked it too.
But it's spot on.
It was in spec.
All the measurements are spot on. So, I let him know that. And we noticed, you can do forensics on a piece. Even when you manufacture one, you can see tool paths and what end mail was on this and where it traveled and those sort of things. But if you know anything about these plates, they're identical to the stock plate. The difference is they're a little lighter and a whole lot stronger. That's why you buy it, so it doesn't break. But they only install one way, and that is identical to the way your stock one comes off. But the springs sit on this side of the plate. The bolts go in this side of the plate. Well, it's really clear from the forensics looking at this, at some point, that's been completely backwards, because you can see where the shoulder on the bolt heads went into the spring side, and you can see where the springs have rubbed around on the bolt head side. So I asked him, it's really obvious, right?
Yeah, you can clearly tell where the springs, you can tell they're on opposite sides.
Yeah, so, on eggshells, I said, I can tell this thing's been mounted backwards. Would that have anything to do with your noise? And then, he comes back, you think I'm an idiot? Which, again, I didn't say that, but it's clearly been.
At some point it got put in backwards, and things do happen, but,
Yeah. So, he said the bearing was hard to get in. That was another issue. This kind of took a lot of angles. And it is a really, really light press fit. So you don't need any special tools to do this. If you've got a vise, it's awesome because it holds everything square. You can just pad both sides of this and the bearing, run it right in there.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
15 seconds.
Yeah. If you don't, it's common mechanical stuff. I mean, you set this on a surface and put your bearing on here nice and square and peck it in. And again, you're not sledgehammer. You don't need special equipment. I've got here. Mark can give you a demonstration. Let's just pretend, like replicate the force you need here, Mark, to install that.
It's about like that.
Yeah, you should be done.
You want to be square. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get it square. You can throw it in the freezer, makes the bearing a little smaller and helps. Put a little grease on it, but it's not a hard thing. But anyway, this guy's struggling along. So he's all tore up that I said, yeah, it all measured out good, and I can't send you a refund because it's clearly a used part at this point in time. And while he wasn't really obligated to anything at that point, I felt bad for the guy. I said, hey, here's what we'll do. It's happy medium. I'll refund you half of the value of that, ultimately so I can throw it in the trash can because I can't resell it.
Right.
And he said, that's absolutely not fair. That's not fair. You should refund me everything. And I said, you do understand it's a perfect part.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Right. It's not defective, and now you've used it. Actually ran it in his motorcycle. So what do you do with that? He turned it into his credit card to file a claim against us. So now we get to chase that down for 3 days. And is it worth it on a little part? I mean, financially it's not worth it, but philosophically at some point, you know, more small business will work hard. And the biggest thing, the product is correct. He just failed to get it in there. He kept going through some deal about he had to mount this on his motorcycle for some reason, bolt it in.
And then beat the bearing into it with it on the motorcycle. We've been unable to come up with a reason for that.
No, we've been down that road a lot. And why you would put this on a motorcycle and then be hammered around on the internals of your motorcycle, I have no clue. So again, we don't know what we're dealing with, right? You're going to do this on the workbench in 14 seconds and then put it on the bike and go ride.
Right.
We don't know. Anyway, you know, I hate to throw this in a trash can. You can tell it has been used, but functionally, it's still in perfect condition. Me or Mark could either one run this in 5 minutes.
I'd run it in mine, yeah.
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. Kind of like last time, we might as well have a little fun, do something good with it. Our spring set, I think, is $32, $29. $29, I think, for our springs.
Yeah.
They're made in America out of stainless. They're high-end. 50% stiffer than stock, and they're wildly popular. They work really, really well. The first person that gets on our site orders a set of just our springs and then puts in the note box, hey, give me that free plate, this bad boy's yours. I mean, it's a whopping $32 new, but we'll give it to you free. Your motor's not going to know the difference between this one and another one. We'll kick in some man-in-the-box soap. You probably don't know anything about this, but it could change your life, especially if you're a single man. There's cheetah pheromones in this, and just be careful with it.
Yeah. Yeah, use it sparingly when you start before you know the power of it.
Yeah.
You can't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Women will probably maul you, but that's its own issue. That's a different video.
We're not liable for the female mauling.
No.
Just make that clear.
Yeah. And if the springs, you know, we sell 10,000 of those, if they don't fit, how about emailing us and asking us for a little help? That'd be fantastic instead of just coming unglued. So that's all we've got. I wish I had more details personally and for this video, because I'll be honest, I've been confused through this entire 30 email chain.
I read through it. It's polite to a point, but still hard to follow. It's odd.
I don't know. But anyway, hey, somebody buy the best springs in the country, get this plate free, get mauled by women.
Those are all wins.
That's a lot of women. All right, that's all we got. Thanks, guys.